Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of Outside of Life, where I chat with inspiring artists 5 days a week. My name is Eva and my guest today is Amber, also known as Dav Kro. You will learn about why it's important to draw every time you can to get better.
There were times where I just didn't feel like I had time for art, so I wasn't making it. And I learned that you always have time for art. Even if all you can do is a little scribble in a notebook before bed, like that's it, that's enough. Just make time for it.
Amber is a self-taught portrait artist for the Let's Play web series GameGrumps and a story artist for Gameoverse. You may also have seen her art in the hardcore series on Peanut Butter Gamers channel. So please welcome Amber, also known as Dav Kro, and let's get to the interview. Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of Outside of Life. I am super happy to have Amber here. Hi!
Hi!
Hi! I'm super happy to have you here and just to share some of your experiences and some of your artistic stories and art career. And maybe we can start with your background. Or do you remember something what you drew as a first time, or something your parents told you, like maybe drew on the wall or something on the crib?
Oh man, okay, so the first thing I ever drew, and I remember this very clearly because of my best friend who I've had since I was 5, but I remember the first things I drew was a Powerpuff Girls drawing.
Yeah?
And it was, I believe it was like the Amoeba Boys, and they were like littering. And one of them was just going with a little dinky word bubble that says littering on it. And then the Powerpuff Girls just looked really appalled on the other side of the picture.
Like, yeah.
And, the thing I remember the most, though, is one of them was flying down going, "Yo, Balagasum." I don't know how I spelled blossom Balagasum, but it said Balagasum, and it's been an in-joke for the past, like 20-something years, because she found it, and she was like, "Do you remember this? I thought this was the best thing ever." So that's like one of the first things I ever drew, and yeah, I did used to draw on the walls.
Perfect. Did you have like a favorite color, or you used all the time, or not so much?
I don't remember what my favorite color was when I was a kid. I know it's red now, and it might have been red and green back then, but I think I just pretty much grabbed whatever I could and used it. I don't think I had a favorite color yet.
Do you remember like a first conversation with your parents when you decided like, I want to take this professionally?
I don't even think I ever like properly said anything. I just kind of did it on my own and kind of went around, and I just decided I'm going to do art. And then I guess they kind of figured it out, and they were like, I guess she wants to do this. And my mom was very supportive. She was always very supportive of my art. And she got married, and stepdad was very skeptical, and he made things really hard, and she kind of changed her mind a bit. But hey, I proved them wrong.
That's good. So how did you motivate yourself, just to continue if there were like people around you who doubted you as well, just to keep yourself going? What did you do?
It just made me happy. I just wanted to do what made me happy, and I've, as shy and nervous as I am, I've always been someone who just kind of still did what made me happy and did whatever I wanted. But so like I just kept it up, and whenever they had problems with it, I would just go away.
That's a good approach, just to avoid.
I would just go away. And there's times where I had to leave the house and everything, and I was just like, I want to do what I want to do, and that's art. That's how I want to do it. I want to do art.
Yeah.
And here's all the people who are successful about it. I can do this.
And how was it when you were like choosing what to study or how to study? Do you have like like go-to resources, or when you wanted to improve, or just like the whole progress?
Yeah, it's the last few years I've dedicated like my life to art. Mm-hmm. I've gotten really serious with it, and I figure out what to study by just being annoyed by my art. So I'll draw something and I'll be like, wow, okay, I don't understand this head angle very well. I really want to learn that. And so I'll just Google image, like head angles, and then I'll just draw them and study them. But pretty much just if anything annoys me about my art, I can't even sleep if I have not tried tackling it. And I'll just draw as much as I can and try to study it, find pointers, whatever. But just Google image searching anything that I'm looking for, really. I don't know.
And do you have maybe also like favorite books or some like online courses, or it was mainly the Google search when you were like directly like either the head or hands or whatever?
Yeah, it's mainly been Google searching. It was always hard for me to find any books on what I wanted. I would go to like the art section, and it's really hard for me to focus on because they have so many, like Barnes and Noble or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know where to start, and I get incredibly overwhelmed by all the books and not knowing where to start looking. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the internet. I can get an immediate like result there.
And so how do you search for inspiration? You know, for example, if you would want to draw, I don't know, male character, or you want to have like specific outfit, would you search for some style or some either the music video or movie or something? So how do you find your inspiration?
Yeah, I guess just really specifically searching a style or whatever I'm looking for. But my all the inspiration, a lot of inspiration I get comes from just actually other artists, just looking at my the feed on Instagram. I'm constantly following new artists because I keep finding there's so many talented people out there, but there's so much inspiration just looking at your dash on like Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah.
Mostly Instagram and Pinterest.
Yeah, because you mentioned Instagram now, so I was wondering like maybe do you have some like tips or whatever how to engage with your community or your followers or something you learn over the years from Instagram?
I try to be social.
So just talking with your followers and
pretty much like sometimes I'll ask a thing in a description, but mostly I just throw something up there, and if someone says something and I have a response in mind, I'll respond to them. Sometimes I try to thank everyone, but it's hard to keep up with sometimes, but yeah. I don't want to ignore everyone.
Yeah,
so
because
I try my best.
Exactly, it's like hard to keep up with like everyone all the time because you want to talk with everyone, but yeah, so not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, and I just get nervous talking to people, but I try. Every now and then I'm really brave, and you'll see that I've responded to everyone in this post, no one in this post, no one in this post, everyone in this post, half of the people in this post. It's inconsistent.
And how do you do networking maybe on the events? We talked about it a tiny bit before the recording. If you can mention maybe some events you go to or something just to find new friends or your new people.
Really, I seem to just find people by posting something up and checking my feed and then finding another person and I like their stuff and then they like my stuff, and that's just kind of how it's always gone. I've never like sought out to contact people. It's just we've always happened to talk to each other and like each other, and then we're like, hey, you're a person too, I like your stuff, let's talk. And that's just kind of how it's been. Just keep sharing your art and engage with other people. Just let them know, hey, your stuff looks nice.
Oh, that's yeah, definitely nice. Just to also just write maybe what you like about their post, right, or what about their art. And and what about the events? Do you go to sell some of your artworks?
No, I mean, there's only one convention I go to, and that's Anime Week in Atlanta because it's convenient to get to. So there's only just one anime convention a year that I do, and I do an art table there. Starting now, I'm doing art tables again there, and they go really well. But I meet a lot of people there too. It's really cool.
Oh, that's nice. And what about like because you have to make money to make art, right? So what do you live from? What is your main income source? Is it the commissions or like selling your art prints, or how do you combine your incomes?
It's definitely commissioning work. I do want to do more of like just selling my art or doing other things that, is completely based off like what I've made for me, but also for you. But it's mostly commission work. Like I'll open up commissions or the GameGrumps will give me work. It's just really like that. Like anyone I'm kind of like partnered with will commission me. So that's where most of my living. I think storyboarding really helped. So storyboarding on Gameoverse, and but I already finished that, so not getting anything from that now. But there's usually always someone else that needs me for something. So that's kind of how it goes.
And how was it to find maybe the first commission, or when you started like the first job, like how did you find that?
Oh, the first random commission, I think I was like in high school and I was on DeviantArt and I saw people were opening something called commissions and I was like, what's that? You can make money by having people tell you what to draw. And then so I just kind of I did that and it was just some anime stuff that I was commissioned to draw and then I guess the first like jobbity job I guess would just be GameGrumps. Actual jobbity jobs. They needed a dedicated portrait artist, so that's
cool.
me.
Perfect. And did you have maybe a mentor or someone you followed maybe on DeviantArt or someone who inspired you as a person when you kind of just starting off the art career?
I never had a mentor. But there were a lot of inspirations, and I think a lot of them happen to actually be like Japanese users that are influenced by Western style.
Oh, yeah.
Those seem to be my favorite, like Gashi Gashi and Senmu and Koruku 21. Like all those are like fantastic. I can't really remember what inspirations I had back in the day. It was a while ago, but I know those are I still consider them my inspirations. Yeah. They're crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I need to check out more of I have this list of artists with the recommendations and I'm like, okay, going through all of that, it's just amazing.
Oh, it's pretty great. And then my friends. I had a lot of art friends that inspired me.
Yeah, you can mention some of them as well if you want.
I don't know how he's doing now, but I remember like Demise Man that was his name. I don't know if he changed it or anything, but Demise Man was one of my good friends, and then Katabura is her name now. She's a friend of mine, and she still inspires me. She's awesome. Nana Mortis, all of them. They're just too talented.
Yeah, definitely. We just need to work on us, right? On ourselves, just to improve all the time. And
yes, live their life. just keep drawing.
And what about some projects you're working on now? Are you working on something exciting, or you want to do something in the future, like a book or something?
Well, right now I just got done with having a nice break. I haven't had a break in like a year, and I went straight from one thing to another, and I just had a break, and I'm trying to get some stuff I owe done. But whenever I get comfortable and get all that done, there is a comic I've been wanting to make, and I've been trying to hold back on working on it. I'll put away all my inspirations are like hidden away because I know if I look at any of them, I'll just want to work on it and it'll distract me from work. So I'm ready to soon take all that stuff down and start working on this comic I've been wanting to make for like years.
Oh, perfect.
That's why, yeah. And so I keep drawing that dude you mentioned earlier because he's the main character.
Ah, nice. I didn't know that. And so do you already have the story and everything?
Yes. It needs a lot of work because there's a lot of concepts that are old that I need that are obsolete that I need to pull out and some new stuff I need to fill in. But once I start working on it, I'll be able to get all that stuff figured out. But there's just always been the core of it hasn't changed. Everything around it has.
Oh, nice.
I would say.
And do you know maybe when we can see it? Maybe next year or?
Hopefully.
Oh, good. That's good.
I love that. Yeah, I the sooner I get to work on it, the better. And I'm pretty quick, but I want to make sure everything is figured out. I can draw everyone just right. James, that guy, has been a huge challenge. I'm drawing him constantly because I am just trying to learn him so bad.
Yeah, just to be comfortable drawing in like every angle and just yeah.
Yes, it's important, and he's just such a weird looking guy.
No, but he looks really cool. I have it just open right here, and it sounds like really interesting story.
Well, thank you. It's something.
And do you want to have it like a black and white or in color, or you don't know yet?
Dang. See, I really like that really heavily inked black and white style. That just makes everything look like it's got like some high contrast going on. But I don't know, because sometimes it's just really hard for me to simplify colors like that. I'm always trying to put too many layers into coloring and everything. So I haven't thought about it, but I think black and white with maybe one other color is probably the best compromise with that.
And what is the most important thing when you're creating your stories, like what there is there like an ingredient you want to have there all the time, like I don't know, something special?
Feeling. There's always going to be a feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but an emotion or a feeling or a reason. I don't know. Like something to make someone feel.
Some like emotional connection with your characters that you can maybe see something from your own life as well. And
yeah, I always like detailed characters that can almost come off as real. So I'm always throwing so much into them, and I think it's so important to have like, incredibly detailed real characters or relatable characters but yeah, I'm always focused on having like a feeling, and I want to express that so that when someone reads it, they can feel they can feel the feeling I put into it. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what I mean.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, but totally makes sense because, like you want to have the emotional connection with someone who is reading the book and just kind of have that like, oh, maybe I can experience this, or I know how the character feels.
Yes. Important. Experiences are important. And if you have to get an experience from reading some other experience from some character in a book, then so be it.
Definitely. And how do you work with creating the characters? Do you work with ink and sketches first, or do you go directly to digital stuff, or do you combine? Or what are your tools?
Both. Like I've been doing a lot of traditional lately, but sometimes I'll just straight up do digital. But I don't normally do the sketch traditionally. I don't do the hybrid thing very much. It's either all traditional or all digital. I don't do the hybrid too often.
And do you have like a favorite ink or paper when you work traditionally?
I'm trying to get to know Bristol paper better. It's just ink seems to have trouble like drying out very quickly unless it's like you use a paintbrush and ink. It looks like, I don't know. But I don't know. I have so many different sketchbooks and types of paper, but I think smooth paper, any smooth paper that can handle marker, I guess. Yeah. Because markers are good for shading and stuff.
And do you use like Copic markers or other ones?
I use any marker I can get a hold of. Copics, Artist Loft, Winsor, Newton, Chart Pack. I used all of those. Just whatever is the right color and nearby.
Ah, okay. So you go like to art supply store and you have like a color in mind you want, and you just look and it doesn't matter which brand, and you just pick and choose and combine.
Yeah, I'll test them all out and see which one like matches what I have in mind the most or what I like the most, and I'll just get them. And it just matters if they perform well, really. And for sketches, it really doesn't matter. But for, I guess, like beautiful, detailed, completed artworks, then Copics are usually the best to go with.
Ah, cool. Yeah, because I need to try also different markers as well. So I'm wondering like, oh, what is like good? But as you mentioned, I do it also with the traditional tools like acrylic gouache or watercolors. When I like the color shade, then I'll just take it like, oh, this fits and
all my paint palettes are just mixed. Like there's at least 5 different brands and like a paint palette, some of my little custom paint palettes, because it just mattered whether or not the colors were good.
Yeah. Just like because just to mix the shade you want all the time, that's like a pain sometimes. So just to find something. And do you have like a favorite, some of the watercolors or gouache? What you mentioned, like maybe some of the brands you use?
I think it's called Sennelier, the French watercolors, and then the Schminke I really like as well. I've gotten really into those, but the brightest ones that really seem to make my art pop would be the Shinhan and Holbein. I don't really know how to say it.
I think
but those are really
Holbein,
good.
I think.
Holbein?
I'm not sure.
It looks like it. It's a Japanese paint apparently, so I'm not sure. Just like I'd know how to pronounce you if I did not know that.
Yeah, do you like a lot of Japanese artworks? I mean, like artworks, tools?
Yes, they seem to make a lot of really good tools.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, like they're freaking markers. But it looks like every country has because Jamaica comes from Germany, and those paints are really like fantastic. They're so expensive, but they're really fantastic. And then Japan has, the Copics, and those are freaking amazing. But it does look like most of my tools seem to just be coming from Japan.
Yeah, I also like some of the Japanese brands, especially because of the colors.
Yes.
When I was in some of the shops, I was like, "Oh, I like this one. I like this one." So my luggage was just full of art supplies.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like the dream.
That was nice. But then, when you go with someone who is not interested in art, and they're like, "Can you just go?"
And you don't have time to look. You don't, even if they tell you it's okay, just look around. You're just in your mind. You're like, they're upset with me. They're so bored. I feel so bad bringing them here. I just want to spend 5 hours here. They don't even want to spend 5 minutes.
And do you also maybe sketch outside? Because I just kind of reminded me when I go somewhere with other people who are not sketching. So. Then they're like, okay, we have to wait for you. So do you also go sketch to some, cafes or when you go for walks?
Yeah, I pretty much just bring a little backpack with my sketching tools anywhere I go, just in case there's downtime, and I don't want to just sit around or stand around, so I just use that time to draw. But I guess the one I do go to coffee shops. I will go out of my way to go to coffee shops and draw there and just drink coffee. Normally Jittery Joe's. It's like a little local place, and it's really great.
And then you draw people or the location?
I haven't done that very much. I usually just work on some stuff that I already had in mind, and I'll just do it there because for some reason it's just easy to isolate yourself and work on something while you're there. I guess because you're isolated from all these other distractions. But I get shy about sketching people that are around me.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not drawing you, I'm just, you can use the sunglasses,
But they'll notice me always looking up in their direction, maybe. And I'm just like, what if they get so offended they're just like, what she keep looking at me for?
I don't think so. It never happened to me.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I think is I'm like, everyone seems to be able to get away with it. I don't think anyone would mind, so I don't know why I'm so incredibly terrified.
I think the sunglasses might help.
All right, well, I'll do that. I'll wear sunglasses or a horrifying mask. We'll see.
Maybe that will help. Yeah. Because
a scary bunny mask.
Because what I don't like is like when you are sketching and someone comes behind you and start to look at your stuff, and you're like,
yes.
Oh, and I'm like,
did you draw that?
Like, don't look at that. That's true.
Yes,
that's true.
I always pick a corner, and nobody can really see me, so no one's really approached me about it. And the last year I've been doing it.
Yeah. Oh, good. And how do you find new projects to work on? Like when you mentioned your project you want to work on later, that's like the idea. But what about new paid projects or new commissions? What would you advise young starting artists? They want to find new jobs or new commissions. Where should they start?
Oh, see, that's complicated because I've always just found work by just putting my stuff out there and saying I'm available for it, and then connecting with people. Having friends definitely helps because sometimes those friends are going to end up needing work in the future, and this is kind of how it's ended up happening with me. But I would just say keep putting yourself out there, keep working on it, and whenever you're available for work, just make it known. And make sure you also have, good connections, with good friends that can help spread the word. And I don't know.
Do you go to these kind of sketch meetups, just to meet with other people? Or do you do more the networking, let's just go for a coffee or, I don't know, other activity like playing video games? And how do you do the networking with others?
I haven't.
Or not so much now.
I can only recall something like that with Ross, the guy who's making Gameoverse. Me and him would get on a call and just draw together. We'd get on Skype. Now it's Discord or Google Hangouts before Discord got screen sharing, and we just kind of would draw together, and that's kind of what we did for a while. And then eventually he pulled me onto the team for Gameoverse, and it was great. It's been great.
Okay.
But that's about it. I'm so shy, and I don't like bothering people. Or feel like I am.
So no, definitely not. That's the thing. It's like when you mentioned like for the social media, maybe that's a better approach if someone is shy, right? Then you don't have to communicate right away, like maybe on the conventions. So you're working on your stuff and just sharing your artworks.
Yeah, I mean, I just do what I do, but I make myself. I try to still seem approachable so that anyone who is, more bold than me can come up to me and be like, hey, let's talk. And I'll be like, yes, we can do that. So I try to make myself open for conversation or anything or networking or anything like that. But I mostly just keep to myself. I just, I don't know how to explain it, but, I just keep doing what I do and I do what I want to do. And whenever someone does approach me, I let them.
Yeah. So following your passion and just creating what you want to create.
Yeah, I just want to draw. I just want to draw and put it out there because I've just been doing that for so long.
So how many years are you like sharing your artwork, would you say?
Oh, I think I've been putting online since I was like 14.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, I was really young, and it was only a few pictures because I kept getting banned from the internet because they were just like, "No, you're just a kid. Stop being on the internet. Get away from the internet. What's this website you went to?" and stuff like that. And but then I think like in high school is when I started actually continuously posting it up online, and that's how I made friends. I'm just conditioned to post almost everything I draw because that's how I've just connected with people.
Yeah, because you're already used to it from like such a young age, and just
yeah, it's how I made a lot of friends, and it's just it's interesting. It's kind of like getting a voice out there, so it's just important to me.
Yeah, because you always find your community, like of people with the same interest, right?
Yeah.
And did you sketch also when you were at like school and just during the lessons and all the time?
Oh yeah. I have like spiral bound like just notebooks full of art because I would do my work real quick and then I'd flip to the next page and just draw on all the like 10 pages until the teacher was done or until we were moving on to the next then to the next assignment. Just any downtime was just me drawing. And even whenever they were like doing notes, once I'm done and already caught up with the notes, I'm drawing over here just a little bit. Oh, okay, and more notes. So we're drawing over here. And I didn't do well in school.
Yeah, well, you did a lot of drawing. That's good.
Yeah, I did what mattered.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because, I mean, you are successful if you are following your passion and do what you want. So that's perfect.
No, thank you.
And did you ever have like a time where you didn't draw, like some for some reason that you couldn't draw for a longer time period or not? Yeah.
Yeah, I used to even take breaks from it back in the day. Like I would just take a break from it, and whenever I would just play video games or hang out with friends, and whenever I got back to it, I felt so refreshed and it was amazing, and I feel like I don't know, just refreshing. It was just refreshing to get back to drawing after taking a break. But lately, I haven't been allowing myself to take breaks.
I just want to do all the projects.
Yeah, I'm just so focused on improving and learning everything. I feel like I don't know why I get the idea that I'm behind, and there's a lot of stuff I want to learn to make sure that everything I am making for people comes out just right. Yeah. It's like, I'll do something for someone, and I'm like, this could have been so much better. I need to work really hard so that it comes out way better next time. And when it's not that, it's just, overwhelming work. But I should allow myself to take a break sometime soon.
Definitely.
That doesn't have any drawing. Like, because last week was just a drawing break, and then I'm just like, no drawing for a week. Play video games. There's got Persona 5 over there. Play it.
So yeah, definitely. If new game, yeah. Do you have also inspiration from new games? Like when you are looking at locations or characters in those games?
Yes. A lot of inspirations came from video games that I played, mostly back in like high school and after high school, because that's when I played games the most. But a lot of like concepts and characters and just styles were just so inspiring to me, and a lot of that actually like you can find in my art.
So what are like you mentioned some of the games already. Do you have like the best games ever? Like which are your favorite?
I do. I love the Silent Hill series. I think they're really great. Like Silent Hill 1 through 4, and then Homecoming for its monsters. And then, a billion people will disagree with me and also go, what's that? But the Xenosaga trilogy is like my top favorite game trilogy of all time. And I love it so much. And I love Zelda. Love Devil May Cry and all that stuff, but Silent Hill and Xenosaga are probably the ones that matter the most to me.
And they have really cool characters, right? And the
yes.
accessories. And
Xenosaga actually is an example of something where they put so much detail into the characters that it just feels like they all exist in an existing world. Plus, they put a lot of detail in the universe too. Like there's clearly rules and laws and all this stuff that they have, and it's just so cool. And I think that's something that inspired me to like really want to try hard with my characters is that they just all have so much detail to them, and I'm like,
Oh, perfect. So you like inspiration from games just to have it like a similar feel, like you have this universe for your characters as well.
Yeah, it's inspiring. I'm just like, I want to do that. I want to be that passionate.
And perfect. And do you work from home, or like do you have your home office like where you live, or do you travel somewhere to some studio?
About 80% of my day is spent in my bedroom.
So you
if
throw
not
there.
95. Yeah, pretty much. I would like to separate, work from home in a way, but it's a little hard to. Like a little tiny apartment, and I've got stuff set up in the living room so that I can at least relax and watch TV while I work, but I haven't used it yet. I've been at the computer most of the week.
So the work is always looking at you, like all the drawings, and it's like, okay, yeah, work.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I was now considering recently just to go for these like call-up spaces, where you can actually just work somewhere in a studio, but you still work on your project. So maybe that's something for the future you can consider as well.
I have friends who do that, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wonder. I should talk to them about it and see if it like really does help them focus on what they need to do. Because lately I've just been so burnt out, I've had trouble focusing.
Yeah, because when you have other people around you which are like working and you don't really have to talk to them, but you see that other people are working as well, that might be, like a motivation, as you said, like in a cafe, you see other people, but you don't interact, so yeah.
And you're like, well, I'm here for a reason, and that is for work, so I came here, so I better get to work. Went all this way. So
definitely,
that's a mentality.
I agree. And do you have like some tools which simplifies your artistic career, like a favorite scanner, or I don't know, planning tool, or drawing tablet, or something like I cannot live without?
I mean, what do I even have? I have like an Epson V600 for a scanner, and it's been really awesome. It's been quite amazing. Because what mattered to me was whenever you scan like a sketchbook or anything, it doesn't blur anything that isn't directly on the scanner. So it catches anything that's not on the scanner too very clearly. So that's what's important. But for drawing tablet, honestly, I can use like just about anything, just as long as it does its freaking job. But I do really like my Cintiq. I got a Cintiq 22 HD like a year or two ago, and it's pretty great.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I like Cintiq as well. Some people don't like it, but it's when it's super hot, then it's maybe not the best, but
yeah, that is true. It does get really warm.
Yeah, but otherwise, then it's really good. But what do you use when you travel? Is it the like physical sketchbook, or do you also have like iPad Pro, or like a lot of people use that?
I've mostly been using traditional sketchbooks and in a little bag or 3 bags of different supplies.
Yeah.
But I do also sometimes carry around an iPad Pro because sketching in Procreate is just really convenient. You just whip that out and do that. You don't have to worry about keeping up with a bunch of tools or anything. It's just I have the smaller one, which I wanted, but when I started working on it, I was like, even though I like the convenient size, I kind of liked sketching on the big one because my friend had a big one. Yeah. I kind of like sketching on the big one more, and I felt too cramped on the small one. But maybe if I just change my canvas size to not be like a direct square, then maybe that'll help.
Yeah, because maybe it's, yeah. Did you try it before? You know, like before you bought it, did you try the big one and small one? Why did you decide to go for a smaller one then?
Yeah, see, my friend Holly, she got like the big one. It was weird. Me and Chris, Ross from GameGrumps, Chris from Oni Plays, we all went to a cafe and we met a girl named Jessica. She's amazing. And she whipped out her iPad. She had a small one. And Chris got to try it out, but I didn't. And I was like, that's neat. And then we come home and Holly's like, look what I got. And she's got the big one. And I'm like, okay, these are popping up everywhere. And she let me draw on hers a lot. And I really liked it. And I had all this space and I just loved drawing on it. I didn't really get to try the small one, but I went with a small one because it would have been more convenient to travel with.
Yeah.
And at the time I was drawing smaller. Now I'm trying to draw bigger, and every tiny sketchbook absolutely annoys me.
When you're like something small and just like
yeah, I'm learning to draw bigger, and now if I don't have all this space, I'm like
yeah, but also when you draw small, you don't see your mistakes. That's also a good approach, you know.
I don't know. I feel like I make more.
Yeah, I feel like I like opposite. Sometimes I'll draw on a small scale, like, oh yeah, it looks fine when it's so small. You know? But definitely the iPad Pro sounds good. I need to get that. I think I will. Yeah.
It makes it really convenient and easy to just sketch whenever you want. Just as long as you charge your Apple Pencil, and it's really, if that's what you get. There's other pens, but like the Apple Pencil, which is really dumb because what you do is you take the pad and then you take the pencil and you just, and it's got a little,
charge it.
It just sticks out of your iPad and it just looks like a big square lollipop, and it's just really weird.
That's kind of strange.
It's really dumb.
And can you bring your Photoshop brushes, to Procreate as well? Or how do you like find the brushes you like, to work with that?
I haven't looked for any other brushes. I don't even know if there are custom brushes, actually. I just, I found the flat marker tool and immediately fell in love, and I haven't been using anything else.
Okay, so you just use one of the brushes, the flat marker tool. Okay.
Yeah, I found it, and I was like, I don't feel like looking for anything else. I like this.
Yeah, but I mean, most of the artists use like 1 or 3 brushes maximum, which you find something you like, and then you just go for it. And unless you maybe draw backgrounds and you need like leaf brush, tree brush, grass brush.
Yeah, all the more efficient brushes. Yeah, I'm too overwhelmed by having too much to choose from, so I just kind of try to focus on a few things.
Yeah. And is there something you wish you knew before you started the whole artistic career? Something you would like advise young self?
There's a lot of things I would tell little Amber. I would have I don't know. I feel like it's almost mean, but I would have told her, like, if you want to actually do this, you need to take it more seriously. Because I didn't actually take it seriously until a few years ago, and I struggled for a while. And now, even though I can sometimes be a little more harsh on myself, I'm more happy with what I make nowadays. And I probably would have told myself to how to study and what to look for and how to feel and what to think whenever doing anything art related. I probably would have told her that.
Yeah.
And then also said, I love you.
It's like, oh, good.
I love take this more seriously. I love you.
Definitely, that makes sense. And so if you think about the future, like where would you see yourself in like 5 to 10 years? What would be your dream scenario? Like if you cannot fail and you're not afraid of anything and you just want to like build this image, like, okay, this is where I want to be.
I'm gonna be in a castle, okay?
Good.
No.
Oh, that sounds good. With the dragon.
With the dragon, yes.
Obviously.
So many unicorns, but they're all like really stylized, short, fat unicorns.
Or a unicorn dragon.
That would be so cute. Let's see. Well, I'm always living in the future, and that's why I have anxiety. But that far in the future, I think all I would hope for is that something of mine has made it out there. Like my comic. Like even if I'm the only one to see it, I want it to have been made. I want it to have been done and be proud of that. But maybe in a better place. I don't know. I kind of like where I am. I don't know. Just, I hope something of mine gets done and I've improved in art. I guess that's all I can really hope for.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not really dreaming very big, am I?
Yeah, but that's really good just to see like your artworks out there and just to like fulfill that. And
Yeah.
did you have something like also difficult moment of your art career or like the worst time? Because that's also where we like learn from. And if so, what would be your takeaway or what did you learn from, you know, having a difficult time?
A lot of my difficult times were just whenever I had like a call center job. I had a job that wasn't art related for 2 years, and that was before I decided to take everything seriously. There were times where I just didn't feel like I had time for art, so I wasn't making it, and I just don't have time to do it. I just don't have time for art, and I learned that you always have time for art, even if all you can do is a little scribble in a notebook before bed. Like that's it. That's enough. Just make time for it. Just freaking make time for it. And I have friends as well who I keep telling, like, just draw. You're just sitting around. If you want to get better at art, just draw. Because they're just like, I want to draw, and I'm like, you do it right now. Because you don't have to have inspiration. Just do it. Just drawing something straight from your head, even if it looks weird and that pose doesn't make any sense, you did it.
Yeah, just to practice something or like do studies or something like that.
Yeah, so like I think my biggest hardships have just been myself, really, just myself. When it comes to like thinking I don't have time to work on something or thinking I can't do something. There's a lot of times where I'm like, I have this idea, but I don't believe I can do it. Well, I need to work towards being able to do it. And what's wrong with trying?
Yeah, definitely. I love that. And
I'm afraid of failing.
I think everyone. So definitely it's just like, yeah, just to try it and just go for it. And maybe the last question I would like to know is like, what would you like to be remembered for in like 100 years?
I want to be remembered for my tired eyes. I mean, any one of my projects, because they all mean so much to me. I would like to be remembered by any of them, if not just for my style. I keep being called inspirational and influential, and I'm like, well, that makes me feel good. That means I'm doing good, and people like what I do, and they want to make it a part of them too, and I think that's really beautiful. So I guess my style and one of my projects is just all I really want to be remembered for.
That's really cool, because then other people can be inspired by you, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
And maybe before we say goodbye, then you can share last piece of advice or kind of key takeaway, and then we will like finish.
Keep drawing! Just keep drawing! Don't give up! Don't listen to what all them haters say. Just keep drawing and do what you love. Just do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Just like I believe in me. But I believe in you more than I believe in me. I don't know if that helps, but I believe in you. Just keep drawing. I'm sorry.
Perfect. I love it. And yeah, guys, so inspire each other and draw every day. And thank you so much for being here. And it was such an inspiration. And yeah, so thanks again. And thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let me know in comments. Also, please subscribe to my channel for more videos, because I post new interview every single workday. You can also find the resources mentioned in this episode at artsideoflife.com. Just type a guest name in the search bar. There is also a little freebie waiting for you, so go check it out. If you want to listen to the interviews on the go, make sure to check out the podcast episodes at artsideoflife.com/podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and don't forget to inspire each other. I will see you guys in the next episode.